how do you interpret RT? This is the script that I have uploaded yesterday, and now I'm going to give you an explanation on how to use this one. So this is 1 hour time frame of Bank Nifty, and you can clearly see that every time there is an RT, this first thing, this indicator doesn't repaint. Okay, so this RT here have given a clear indication that the price is about to reverse here, and this is the support area. This is the pitchfork support, you can see that, and this is the basic price action support area. So support area. So here you will enter once this bar is closed. You need to wait until this bar is closed, the bar that RT has formed, and moreover, you will only get the signal once the bar is closed. So obviously, once the bar is closed, there will be the next bar will obviously come down to retest the level like this. See, here you can clearly see that once the bar is formed, you will get a line like this, and the price will come down to retest this level. And once this level is broken down, which means this setup for bullish setup is broken, and you will see a reversal like downside trade. But this level will act as an important level at that point. So here you will enter here, and your initial stop loss will be the bottom of low of these two candles. Whatever the lowest candle is, that becomes the SL initially when you enter. Because sometimes this retesting candle comes until this point, the opening of the bullish candle, or else the low of the bullish candle. Sometimes, most like 40%, 30% of the times. So you can see clearly that the price hasn't never came down. This being your target, this line here, because I'm a pitchfork trader. I use pitchfork to identify my trades. So this is my target. This is where I look for my possible targets. This once hits, I will exit from my trade. I will book my profit here. Okay, so the later on trades are completely different. If I want, I'll enter, or else no, that's another story. So when I talk about RT, this is my entry here, and this here is my exit at this point. You can exit at this point or this point, whatever is visible for you. If you're a scalper, exit there. And on the next day, once when I see this being acting as support, I'll definitely enter the trade. So this RT here, this RT, see, I told you, it is clearly written here. If you notice, if a bar closes below this line, because this is a bullish signal, if a bar closes below this line, this RT will be invalid, most probably. Mostly it will be invalid. So here you can see an RT, bearish RT, and the bar closed above this here. This is where the line would have been, and it closed above that line, and this RT became invalid. The next day, the whole price sustained above this line. So here you can see clearly two ways of entering into the trade. Once the bar, once you see an RT, the next bar you enter the trade, or you know, you can enter the trade, exit, and once again, when you see the price coming back to this point, this line here, price coming back to this point, you can enter the trade again. This is as easy as it sees, as it is shown. This is the line. So once this bar is closed, you can enter the trade and exit here. Your target is reached, and again, once when the bar goes and touches this point as a retest level, that's when you can enter the trade for a bigger targets. This is how it goes. And once you see this line is still acting as resistance line, if you notice, this line is still acting as resistance line. So that's how you interpret the RT. And please don't blindly enter into the trade. You definitely need to have one or the other, uh, you know, um, indicators to identify the potential reversals, or support and resistance zones. You need to be very through with that. You need to have a resistance zone. See, this is the resistance zone for me. So I saw an RT, then I'll enter the trade here. If you notice, at this point, this might have been the SL line for me. Once it touched here, I'll enter the trade, and this will give me like 188 points. That's a good trade for me. I'll exit here. Done for the do, done for the day. So this is about RT in higher time frame. And now let's go to the lower time frame. Now you can see too many RTs. There you go. So how do you interpret this one? So you have an RT here. See, also you have an RT here because this area is the resistance area. RT here, awesome, nice trade, and it came up to this that medium line, the SL line, retested but didn't sustainable. Now see, awesome. So why don't we trade these RTs? These are the small RTs, but we don't trade. They are definitely minor support and resistance zones in intraday, and those are the places where you see them, but don't use them. That's of no use. So all you have to do is ignore them. Only consider RT at the major levels, not everywhere. Only at the major levels. Sorry. So here RT, yes, I will consider this as um, a resistance zone because it acted as support here, here, and maybe somewhere else. It acted as support here. It acted as resistance. See how resistance it is working, and now this is where I'll enter. So anyway, so that is how you need to um, consider the RT trade. That is how you need to use. So every time I give you levels and you find RT at that particular level, that's when you'll enter a trade. See here, RT at this point. Yes, I will consider this. This is retested again at this level, and then see. And now again RT. This is a continuation pattern. This is the level. 36,863 is the level. And let me go through. Yeah, that's it. That's it for the day. You see RT at the resistance zone, breakdown. Yes, enter. Like that. See how far you can identify the trades, and but don't blindly enter into the trade. If for better use, you can use the um, momentum indicator as I've shown earlier. See, this momentum indicator showed bullish move, but the momentum indicator is below the zero line. So no, I wouldn't consider this. This here is still below. No, I wouldn't consider this. But once it goes above, yes, I would consider this. I would take a call at this point here. So here you can see clearly that RT has formed, and next move, the momentum indicator is starting above, it's above the zero line. Yes, I would consider to take a call then at this point. So RT and the momentum indicator is just below the zero line, and yes, I would consider this absolutely at resistance level. So I will consider this downtrend. So that's how you use some oscillator to identify the moves, and you can use this one accordingly, according to your trading style. Thank you, guys.